Hey YouTubers, fans of Stalking the Wild Autoharp. This is Hal Weeks, and today we're gonna follow a button. I'm here in the workshop, Pete Daigle, where I'm helping out building Daigle Autoharps, learning all about what goes on here, and I just have been learning some stuff that's pretty nifty cool, and I thought I would share it with you. This is a bag of rough cut boxwood Autoharp buttons that they get made at a different facility because they buy these 3,000 at a time. There's 250 of them here in this bag, and in a little bit I'm going to have Pete on here show you and tell you the story of how these things are cut. It's pretty amazing, and there's a lot of time and work that goes on to each button before it even shows up here in the shop. But I wanted to show you this right up here. This says M4 and 6 cord bar buttons. That's Model 4 and Model 6. Model 4 is the TLC. Model 6 is the Desert Rose and Desert Eagle. These are the larger cord bar buttons, and they come in that box full of cord bar buttons. And then up there is the buttons for Model 3, which is the Cascade model. Okay, so they actually arrive in a box in little bags like this, and then they go through a process of smoothing and finishing. And so I'm going to show you the secret to the smoothing process, which I actually heard about some time ago, and I think it's pretty cool. So let's go look at that, shall we? So this is the part that really got me interested in this, and I actually heard about this years ago. This is a rock tumbler, and they put the buttons in here for a couple of days to smooth them out, round off all the edges so they feel good to your fingers. And John told me that when he opens it, I can be there to film it. And he's going to open it this afternoon, so I'll be able to film that for you. The moment of truth. John is opening the buttons that have been tumbling for, what, 3 days?
No, just about 26 hours.
Okay. Let's follow along, shall we? It's got an air hose, a vacuum tube. Taking out the dust. There you go. All right. Thank you, John. Hi, YouTube fans of Stalking the Wild Autoharp. I'm going to interrupt this story just to bring you a little bit of information that I've been kind of remiss about. As you know, I'm up here in Washington working in Pete's shop and documenting it all, to share some of the excitement that goes on behind the scenes in making a professional quality auto harp. And I'm really enjoying bringing that to you. But I've been a little bit remiss about sharing some of my Stalking the Wild auto harp information that you need to know. Number one, please hit subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, 5,000 people a month watch this program, and 75% of those people are not subscribed. When you subscribe, you get notification immediately that there's a new episode. And what happens for me when you subscribe, when you click the little button and subscribe for free, it drives me up the ladder so more people can discover me, and then more people. And as people discover me, they go over to Patreon and they kick in $5 a month, $10 a month to support this program, which keeps me doing it. It's very much of an encouragement. You can subscribe, you can set up yourself for private lessons with me. But if you can't afford to do that and you're learning from Stalking the Wild Auto Harp, why not chip in $5 a month? The links for these things are in the notes for the video. There's one for Patreon where you can become a patron and support Stalking the Wild Auto Harp on a monthly basis. There's also a link there where you can find out about my private lessons. So I just wanted to mention those things. Thanks for watching. I'm now going to return you to the Ballad of a Button. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm here with Pete Daigle. Hi, Pete.
Hey.
And Pete is going to tell us the story of the buttons before they come into the shop. Go.
All right. Well, they start out as a dowel, just long. I imagine they're probably 3-foot dowels, and they go into a CNC machine, which spits out a certain amount of button. And then a router comes up from below and skins it here, skins it here, skins it here, and then the button will turn and it'll come down here and it skins it across here, skins it across here. The button will come out a little bit, and then there's a little slicer that comes down, slices it there, drops in the bucket, and then the dowel shoots out another piece of dowel, and up comes the router again, and it hits here, and it hits here, and it hits here, and it hits here and here, and then it pushes it out again, slices it off in the bucket.
All right. Thanks, Pete. Thanks for talking. We've been saying for days that we need to make that video. So now it's done, and I can put together the story of the button.
Why was that a lot of work?
Yeah. Yeah. Bye, everybody. Buttons. Buttons, 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 buttons. Here the buttons have come out of the tumbler. They're nice and smooth, but they don't have finish on them yet. And they go into these boards. You can see that the boards are covered with a glaze of finish because having been sprayed so many times, the finish is accumulating on the boards. They look just like glazed donuts. The buttons go in this, and then they go into the spray booth where they get sprayed with 2 coats of lacquer and 2 coats of sealer from 2 or 3 different directions just to cover the button. So this here is the spray booth, where all the harps go to get finishes put onto them, and also the buttons. And I'm going to take you in there and show you the buttons in the rack. Over here in the rack, we got to bend down to see them. There's the buttons getting coats of sealer sprayed onto them, drying in the rack. John says he puts on 4 coats, 2 coats of lacquer, 2 coats of sealer. I'm not sure the order of that, but this is where all the spraying happens for the harps. So there you go. There's a little brief history of the story of a button, the Ballad of a Button, from the time it comes in from the cutting facility to the time that it is all glossy and ready to go on an Autoharp. Of course, after that, there's a whole series of steps in assembling the cord bars and putting the wood veneer on. And that's another whole intensive process that John goes through, working with very small parts and everything. And I would love to show you that. And I'm hoping to get around to making that video as well, where ultimately the button goes onto the harp and onto the cord bar so that you can see it. But I just wanted to finish up with this series so that I could get it online so that you could see the process. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back with more Stalking the Wild Autoharp next time. Bye-bye.